You're watching the show that puts Mid-Michigan news in focus. This is Focal Point.
Coming up, we'll tell you about a push for reflective gear that could keep bikers safe.
And the city of Lansing is going pink.
As Spartan seniors prepare to graduate and move on from MSU, at least one thing will stick with them: student loan debt. Tonight on Focal Point, I'll show you some tips on how to effectively pay that back.
Focal Point starts now.
Hi, I'm Molly Cassidy.
And I'm Chris Ryan. Welcome to Focal Point. It's an exciting time of the year for Michigan State seniors as they prepare to walk across the stage to get their diplomas. But that means it's also time for them to start thinking about paying back student loans. Focal Point reporter Jack Crawley has that story.
Graduates of Michigan State University are left with plenty of great memories.
The camaraderie of the area and missing all my friends. Football games, and I do a lot of volunteering, so really enjoy that.
But the one thing that most students want to forget is what sticks around the longest.
Welcome to financial aid. Please sign in to the computer on your right.
Student loan debt.
When will you be expected to start making payments? And, you know, the best part is, how much are you going to end up having to pay per month?
While many recent grads feel like they're drowning in it,
Sometimes students who have borrowed freely during their years at Michigan State or any school find that to be a little bit of a surprise.
there are options available that will keep graduates afloat.
Because we have such a low default rate, I know that we have a lot of students who are doing well.
Income-based programs like Pay As You Earn will only charge what students can afford based on their annual income.
So if you're working and you're making a good living, you are going to make a larger payment.
And it works both ways.
If you don't have a job or you're earning very little, you can tie your monthly loan payment to your income.
One thing that MSU's financial aid staff stresses must be avoided:
they don't want to see you go in default, just like you don't want to be in default, because it really wrecks everything.
going into default can affect your credit for a very long time, but income-based loan repayment options have slowed this trend.
I think that we're finally starting to see a recovery, and I'm hopeful that we'll see our numbers continue to go in the right direction.
With options that tie loan payments to your income and even loan forgiveness programs for those that fall on hard times, the hope is that most Spartan graduates can focus on the good times they've had. For Focal Point, I'm Jack Crawley.
For help paying back those loans and calculating what you may owe, graduates can head to www.finaid.org.
Across town at Lansing Community College, students are also feeling the weight of loan debt. During the past 3 years, over 30,000 LCC students took out federal student loans. Nearly 20% of students defaulted on those loans. LCC staff attributes the rise in loan defaults to increased enrollment.
Residents of East Lansing are outraged over a controversial vote this week by the East Lansing School Board. The board voted to turn Red Cedar Elementary School from a traditional elementary school into a multi-purpose building. Watch as I take you through the heated meeting held last Monday. The public made its plea.
Red Cedar is held up as a beacon of what public education can and should be. And you don't just stick with a decision if it's the wrong one. And in the history of people fighting for what they believe in and for fighting for social justice, that's what the story always has been.
It's a gem that's serving the needs of some particular communities, and it should be a selling point for this district, not something that you're closing down.
We did come to the district for Red Cedar, for that unique school of Red Cedar where 44 different countries are represented.
The council considered
what Red Cedar does is it celebrates, it values, it treasures, it cherishes the diversity that is there. It is different than what's in the other school.
That there is somehow a greater value to the diversity at Red Cedar than it would be at any other school is unfair to the other schools in this district. Nay.
the case is closed. After a 4-3 vote to turn down the motion, Red Cedar Elementary is going to become a pre-kindergarten, developmental kindergarten, and the central office for the district staff in fall of 2014. And emotions erupt.
It is the worst board decision ever made by a school board in this community. The worst.
We were disappointed.
Yeah, I think we're both rather disappointed.
We analyzed a lot of the data in class and talked about all the benefits of Red Cedar. And the data was actually manipulated in a lot of ways, sadly. it was a lot of gerrymandering, to be honest, of the school districts and walkability and all that jazz.
I just thought this was a gift from God when these numbers fell and they were completely ignored. And I don't understand how they could do that tonight.
What's best for us in the long term. And I'm glad you didn't want to quibble anymore about percentages, because I don't know that that's helpful for us.
The school is still fighting back. Check out their support page, 50,000 Strong for Red Cedar School, on Facebook.
In Michigan, you can always count on two things: our winter weather and construction. So it's no wonder Michigan is trying to make the commute for some drivers a little safer. Before hitting the road, the Michigan Office of Highway Safety is asking motorcycle drivers to take a second look at what they're wearing. Last year, Michigan motorcycle deaths increased with 129. Their new campaign, Ride Safe to Ride Again, encourages motorcyclists to wear bright colors at all times, but some drivers are hesitant to the change.
I wouldn't try to start wearing green, orange, and those weird colors, because I ain't about that life. I feel like that'd just take my whole purpose away, because I don't know, it just wouldn't really match who I am, you know what I'm saying?
In Michigan, it is not required for motorcycle drivers to wear helmets. Some law enforcement officers think that could be the reason for the increase in the number of deaths.
If you have unused prescription drugs you want to get out of your medicine cabinet, you can drop them off Saturday during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. The Michigan State Police, along with the Drug Enforcement Administration, are teaming up to collect unused medications as a way to stop drug abuse. Drugs will be collected at the area Michigan State Police posts between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. If downtown Lansing seems a little more colorful this week, it's for a good reason and a good cause. It's the 4th annual Lansing in the Pink Week. Ribbons decorated the downtown area, and several of the shops and restaurants are offering discounts, with a portion of sales going toward breast cancer research. All of this leads up to the 11th annual Susan G. Komen Mid-Michigan Race for the Cure at the Capitol building this Sunday. The event brings more than 6,000 participants to downtown each year, but it wouldn't happen without all the volunteers.
It's very inspiring and heartwarming to have the entire community rally and have so many people come up to us and want to be involved. Whether it is a business owner or it's someone just seeing us hang pink ribbons on the day that we were putting those out and saying, hey, what is this about? Can I decorate a ribbon? I know somebody, and hearing their personal stories.
To find out how to get involved or vote for the best decorations, head to lansingintthepink.org.
Work can get a little dull sometimes doing the same things every day. But this week, Michigan State faculty and staff were able to change things up a bit and bring a little bit of home to work. Many brought their kids to campus for the annual Take Your Child to Work Day, which included a day full of activities, tours, and exhibits. More than 20 departments participated, from the Student Athlete Center to the Neuroscience Department.
You get to see a lot of interesting stuff and what really goes on here, and what it's, in the end, what this campus is really about. It's just it's a drop in the bucket, though. I mean, you're just getting a little glimpse of it. This place has so much to offer.
This year marks the 20th anniversary of the national event. Coming up, we'll explore what happened at Design Day.
And MSU is withholding funds from the student government. We've got these stories and more after the break.
There are moments of triumph, of discovery, and achievement. But what makes these moments possible? It's the early mornings, the late nights. It's having the will to persevere. So let's take a moment to celebrate. But more importantly, let's salute the will it takes to get there. Spartans will. They've been called leaders, lifesavers, and world changers. They're also called Spartans.
It's Design Day today, and many engineering students had the chance to show off their semester's worth of work.
And Spartan graduates were able to cross off last-minute bucket list items during Senior Week.
Focal Point's Elliot Grandia has those stories and more in our on-campus report.
Thanks, guys.
In a meeting last Thursday, ASMSU, Associated Students of Michigan State University, voted to turn down a bill that would transfer their funds to the university's financial system, making them an official university department. Focal Point's Courtney Moore has that story.
MSU collects the funds from the students here in form of tax on behalf of ASMSU.
Ken Casella, the university spokesman, says those taxes are being withheld for one main reason.
The primary issue has to do with accounting and accounting practices. For a long time, and this is not a new issue from at least since 2011,
ASMSU has been asked to transfer their financial accounts on campus due to several past audits.
There has been an external audit of ASMSU and their accounting practices, as well as an internal audit done by MSU's auditors. All of those audits have shown that there has been a series of problems along the way.
The reason that there are flags in those audits was a result of errors made by a university employee who the university told us we had to employ. And we had no supervisory oversight.
ASMSU President Evan Martinak says that since the last audit, they've taken matters into their own hands.
Since 2011, we've been able to hire our own business office manager who was a non-university employee, and we've had clean audits since that time.
And while the university says they want to work with the group,
what we want to do from the administration at MSU is sit down with the leaders of ASMSU and say, look, we've got some business practices that we follow here across MSU. If you'll implement those, it'll resolve these problems that we keep seeing come up in the audits.
Evan says the student government didn't want to be forced into change, so they decided to take a stand and say,
we haven't done anything wrong. There's not a lot of reason for us to do this when we've been operating in this system and it's worked for a long time.
Evan says they have about $500,000 saved up in accounts to hold the organization over for as long as 9 months. Although he doesn't expect it to last that long, he says they won't have to cut back on services. For Focal Point, I'm Courtney Moore.
ASMSU is encouraging students to visit their website, asmsu.msu.edu, to sign the petition. And MSU engineering students spent their last days of the semester getting ready for Design Day. To some, this may be a chaotic mess of little thingamabobs, doohickeys, and whatchamacallits. But to these mechanical engineer students, each piece is a part of something much larger.
So luckily Nick found the wooden balls, and these actually sounded great.
Well, country. I mean, this is an old bike rim. It's bent. As you can see, it doesn't go straight, but it still works.
It's a day that took hours of preparation.
Man hours, probably over 100.
I really can't even estimate it.
About all semester.
618 students and 143 teams took to the halls of the engineering building today to showcase their innovations at this year's Design Day.
We got an automated block stamper. Yeah, finally, it's here.
All of them explaining how it worked.
It'll just make it so we can pump even faster.
To people of all ages. From the Slice Master to a penny arcade, students are quite creative at Design Day.
Break away from the mold, literally, and try to create a new method of new process of manufacturing.
Some even creating products they hope to assist in third world countries.
One of our team members is actually going to be working all summer on this project, kind of diffusing it into third world countries. So that's going to be one of the things he offers.
Design Day is not only a chance for students to show off their stuff, but also a big sigh of relief.
I'm proud that we spent all this time and we actually have something to show for it.
I'm ready to be done.
Yeah, it's nice. It's real nice.
And an opportunity to enjoy what they've created.
We got some customers.
15 awards were giving out to students for their outstanding work. Well, you probably hear the MSU landmark ring every day, on the hour, but it's not every day that you can get to climb inside. MSU students and community members alike stood in line on Thursday to get a tour of that famous Beaumont Tower. The Tower Guard, who co-sponsored the event, gave a little history lesson to the visitors before letting them explore the highest point of the tower, holding the carillon and bells. Visitors signed the guest book and took pictures to cross off their bucket list.
You know, you hear them all the time, you hear the talk about them, but to actually see them and hear them up close, they're really loud.
Once you get up those stairs, they're just like right there in front of you, right in your face pretty much, and it's pretty awesome to see them.
Graduating seniors had several events they could attend this week, including pictures with the crowd favorite Sparty. Due to the weather, the event was moved indoors, but the rain didn't stop Sparty from entertaining the students. Seniors lined up inside of the stadium to take pictures in front of the Sparty statue. The Michigan State Alumni Association was there to pass out t-shirts. Graduating senior Jamie Blankenship was happy she had the opportunity to pose with the green and white mascot before leaving.
I'm super excited about graduating, but I'm really excited to come and take pictures with Sparty today because I've seen him around for 4 years at all the basketball games and all the football games, and this is my first time taking pictures with him, so it was really fun.
Well, there are two staples that students grow to love over their time at Michigan State University, The Rock and Dairy Store ice cream. Well, this Friday, students got to enjoy both. The Rock was filled with hungry students today in celebration of another school year coming to a close. MSU's UAB dished out hundreds of free scoops of Dairy Store ice cream in an effort to give students a breather from the books before finals. Graduating seniors also got the opportunity to leave their mark by signing The Rock. That's what's happening on campus. I'm Elliot Grandia.
A favorite campus bar is now nationally ranked. We'll take you there.
And how did MSU football players fare in the NFL draft? Sports is next.
Greener than the hill, where flowers grow and the sun shines still. Now I'm darker than the deepest sea. Just hand me down, give me a place to be.
I'm Jack Crawley with This Week's Sports. With the NFL draft now underway, several former MSU football players are hoping for their shot at the NFL. The Pittsburgh Steelers drafted running back Le'Veon Bell in the second round with the 48th overall pick. Deion Sims, William Golson, and Johnny Adams are the other Spartans patiently waiting for a call. No Spartans win in the first round, and experts are saying it isn't likely they'll be drafted before the third round. MSU women's basketball head coach Susie Merchant announced Monday that assistant coach Tempe Brown has been promoted to associate head coach. Brown is also the staff's academic liaison, strength and conditioning coordinator, and perimeter position coach. The Michigan State baseball team finally got back on the diamond after 4 consecutive rainouts. The Spartans traveled to South Bend to play Notre Dame. MSU led 3-2 heading into the bottom of the 7th inning when Notre Dame came back with 4 runs and then added 1 in the 8th to secure a 7-3 win for the Fighting Irish.
We played with a lack of emotion today, and that's, it's unacceptable. We don't do things that way, and, we're going to make some changes, or I'll have to make changes if these guys won't.
Nearly 20,000 Spartan football fans came out to Spartan Stadium one more time this year for the annual Green and White Spring Game. Quarterback Andrew Maxwell led the white team, while backup quarterback Connor Cook led the green. The white team prevailed and defeated the green 27-17.
Yeah, definitely a slow start offensively, especially on the white team and myself in the first half. But, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And if we put together a couple good drives in the second half, we were able to finish well.
Student tickets are now on sale at msuspartans.com. Former Spartan and current Washington Redskins quarterback Kirk Cousins was on hand for the game, but this time in a different role. Cousins worked for the Big Ten Network, helping to call the game, an opportunity he hopes one day to turn into a post-football career.
A little scary. It's kind of like being a rookie in the NFL or a red shirt in your first year at Michigan State. You don't quite know what to expect, and you're going to not be as polished as you'd like, but you got to start somewhere, and I think where better to start than where it's familiar at Michigan State.
And that's what's happening this week in sports. I'm Jack Crawley.
For MSU students, Crunchy's Bar has always been a hotspot to hit on a night out in East Lansing.
And now they're recognized as one of the best college bars in the country. Complex.com named Crunchy's number 6 in their top 25 poll, just behind Big Ten opponent Nebraska's Duffy Tavern. Complex.com said their wide beer selection and their reputation of good food has made the bar a mainstay for more than 2 decades.
I know Crunchy's is definitely one of my favorite places, especially for their karaoke. What about you?
Well, I mean, it's your birthday. You should celebrate there tonight.
Oh, I didn't want everyone to know, but that's okay.
It's your birthday.
Well, that's our show for tonight.
Happy birthday, Molly. We leave you now with the sounds of musician Matt Needham.
Good night.